Okay, so I guess this is going to be the last video. She's all finished. I'll just talk you through what I did. If you remember that first video, the bar was bent. So I fitted the bar that came in the competition kit, or the trail kit that was originally purchased with this bike way back in 1976. In that kit came that bar, came these nice shock absorbers. I think they're made by Mahoney. Also in that kit, while I'm on it, came an extended brake pedal that goes with foot peg extensions, both sides, and there's a belly pan in there that you can, swap. Well, this is optional, but it was nice that it came, it was all still in the bag and not fitted. And there's a Kawasaki bag that all the hardware came in to fit it all. I decided not to go down that route and fit the foot peg and stuff because it makes it a little bit uncomfortable for road riding, I think. But if you're a serious off-road enthusiast, then you're probably going to want to fit those. I changed the throttle cables. Here are the old ones, because you got one goes off to the auto lube pump, and the other to the carburetor. Obviously, I changed the petcock because the handle was broken on there. You might be able to repair that. The one that I've got on there that I've changed it is identical. So I tracked down one that was, in here is a tiny little nut, and that is part of the throttle linkage. I'm going to tell you this before I forget. The new cables were quite tight. I mean, they work a treat, but they were very tight, and I needed just a little bit more slack. So in there, there's a brass adjuster, and this nut is the lock nut for that adjuster. The adjuster's screwed right in to give me enough slack. I would imagine that when the cables loose up after quite a few miles, you can put that nut back in there, that lock nut in there, if you need to make any adjustments. So the suspension kit, I fitted the full suspension kit, the Mahoney shock absorbers, and I've got to tell you, it is really, really nice now. Nice and firm, These are really road springs, they're just sloppy. So these are the standard shocks, and these are the standard springs. If you look at my last video, if you want to put these back in, you'll see how they go. But basically you've got two long springs, two short springs, two nylon connectors that join the short and the long together, and then you've got like two metal sleeves, and they're like what it bottoms out on. So when you fit the new suspension kit, you just take all of that out, and you just get these really long springs, and they're really, really nice. So there's the bent lever. I'll put a new one on there. There's a toolkit in there, the original toolkit. That's all in there. That's all in good shape. I should really get it out of the bag, but that's a trail riding seat that came with it too. It's not in very good shape. The base is reusable, but it looks like it must have started leaking and getting wet. So the old guy got his hot glue gun out and done a freaking number on it. But hey, we're not all mechanics, are we? So yeah, it came up pretty nice. I noticed that when I was giving it a good clean today that the rear tyre needs replacing, because there's a split in it. I don't have time to put a new tyre on it, but I'll adjust the price for that. I mean, $80 is going to get you a really good tyre these days. What else can I say? Well, let's go through it. Yep, carburetor works, that's all good. Let me just walk around and maybe something will jog my memory. Or not. Oh, the front fender came out pretty well. You can't see there, I did the repair underneath the underneath that stay on both sides of a tiny little split. A plastic welded it with a hot knife from underneath, and you would never tell. I got a new speedo cable. I put the old one in there so that, I mean, it all backs up the story, and you know, if it's really nice to have some history with it, you know. I just love that kind of stuff. So yeah, so she's going to go up for sale. I've been speaking to an expert on one of these because, you know, he breaks them and he actually sells complete bikes and all the rest of it. And he's out in Utah, and there's pretty much nothing he doesn't know about these. But apparently that suspension kit that I fitted there, he's actually sold one of those kits for $800 to a guy in Germany. That's how sought after they are with the Mulhoney shock absorbers. Apparently there are only 9,000 of these bikes made worldwide. And that's why everything's so freaking rare. It's been a bit of a challenge. Like finding that speedo cable, I really lucked out there. Like the cheapest I could find was like $200, and then this guy came along and saved the day for me. But the only damage, I guess, is that slight dent in the tank there. That's difficult to see in some lights. The other side's really good. Tail light, a little bit scruffy there. I had to straighten that up. But the light works and everything. Oh, there's a tiny little chip in down there in this cover. You could actually, depending on whether you want to show the bike or not, but if you just want to use it, it's not leaking into the stator or anything like that. It's just a tiny little chip on the lug. You could put some JB weld on that, shape it. I'm going to leave that to you because I don't want to hide anything or, you know, keep anything covered or anything like that. So you know exactly what you're buying. But yeah, I think it's a great bike, and I think it's a really good example. 600 miles. The compression is 160, which is like a new motor. That's really, really good. Everything's in really good. If you do buy this, I've been told that you need to look after the chain lube, keep the chain lubricated. It does have an oil lubricating system. I mean, I've greased the chain, cleaned it and greased it. But apparently this dished sprocket was only made for this bike, and you cannot buy them. There's a kind of a work through they do now where they put a flat sprocket on with spacers and all kinds of stuff. But this was only made for this bike. If you find one in good order, it's usually $400. So look after that. So what else can I say, really? I flushed the oil system through the pipe work right the way down to the pump, blown it out, and then I put some really high quality oil through, watched it running out the end. Seat's pretty good. One tiny little puncture there. What I would do with that is get a puncture repair kit and put one of those little patches on it, just to stop it spreading. The horn got an intermittent problem. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'll see if I can get to that. I will. If not, that's some fun for you. Yeah, it's a really, really nice bike. Super, super rare. People want these all over the world now, apparently, I've been told. So, good luck. I think it's a good, solid investment. It's not going to go down in value. That's for darn sure. All right, well, thanks very much. Thanks for following the story from start to finish, and enjoy all the history. Enjoy Oscar's tales of elk hunting and breaking his ankle and fighting back through the wilderness with a broken ankle and stuff like that. All right, thank you.